Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be looking at the biggest steals so far into the season, looking at the average draft positions of these players and their current ranking now. Number 16 is Brandon Montour of the Florida Panthers, who had an average draft position this year of 157, and in my league his current rank is 52. Right now he has 44 points in 51 games and also 10 goals, which puts him on an 82 game pace of 16 goals and 70 points. For a defenseman, that is absolutely incredible, and if you drafted him or picked him up, you are getting insane value. Yes, the Panthers might not even make the playoffs this year, but Montour is on that first line power play. He's clearly a major offensive threat. He puts up monster peripherals too, and the Panthers are 7th best in goals per game, so expect this to continue. The next player is Travis Konecny of the Philadelphia Flyers. He has slowed down a bit if you're looking at his recent games, but still, he has played incredible this year. He had an average draft position this year of 156, but his current rank in my league right now is 49. He has missed a couple games, so keep that in mind, but right now he has 49 points in 46 games, an over a point per game player, and he also has 24 goals, which puts him on an 82 game pace of 42 goals and 87 points. I'm assuming that he was likely on the waiver wire in a lot of your leagues, so if you scooped him, congrats. All right, number 14, Carter Verhaeghe. This is a guy that I just picked up about 2 weeks ago, and I'm super pleased with what I've gotten out of him because he has played incredible. He had an average draft position this year of 175, and his current rank in my league right now is 48. He just had a monster game against Tampa where he put up 4 points, increasing his point total to 47 points in 52 games, and also his goal total to 28 goals. His 82 game pace right now is 44 goals and 74 points. Last year, he only had 24 goals in 78 games, so this has been incredible to watch. He is on a hot streak right now, so he may cool down, but he is a really talented player based off the games that I've watched. If you scooped him off the market, congrats. It looks like he's playing with Mac and Chuck, who's been a beast too. So I expect him to put up a lot more fantasy points for the rest of the season because the Panthers can score a lot of goals in general. All right, number 13 is Alex Tuch of the Buffalo Sabres. He had an average draft position this year of 160, and in my league, his current rank is 36. It really does look like the Buffalo Sabres came out with a robbery in that Jack Eichel trade. Tuch currently has 55 points in 50 games, along with 24 goals, putting him on an 82 game pace of 39 goals and 90 points. The Sabres are 3rd in the league in goals per game. He's playing on the first line with Skinner and Thompson on that first line power play. If you picked him up off the market or you drafted him, congrats, because he's going to be great for the rest of the season and for many more years to come. All right, at number 12, we have Ryan Nugent-Hopkins of the Edmonton Oilers. This was a guy that I sold high early on in the season, and I definitely regret that decision. He has an ADP this year of 140, and yet his current rank in my league is 33. Last year, he only had 11 goals in 63 games and also 50 points. Not the greatest season playing on a first-line power play with Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. But this year, he has proven that he is still an amazing player, and he is likely going to hit career high numbers. He currently has 60 points in 50 games and also 22 goals, doubling the amount of goals than he had last year in 13 less games, which puts him on an 82 game pace of 36 goals and 98 points, almost hitting 100 points in this season. He currently has 32 power play points in 50 games, and the Oilers are just beasts when it comes to putting the puck in the net, so expect this to continue, and congratulations if you drafted him or you picked him up off the market. Number 11 is Bo Horvat, who just got traded to the New York Islanders. He did score his first goal for the Islanders tonight against the Kraken, so maybe he will continue this type of production, who knows. His ADP this year was 150, but his current rank in my league is 28. He currently has 54 points in 50 games and also 31 goals, putting him on pace for 50 goals and 88 points in a full season. For you guys to have him on your teams, he's been a fantastic fantasy player, and hopefully he can continue his production on a new team. Number 10 is Dougie Hamilton of the New Jersey Devils, who had an average draft position this year of 101, but his current rank in my league is 25. He's on a super hot streak right now if you look at his past 10 games, but he's been great all season. He has 49 points in 50 games and also 13 goals, putting him on an 82 game pace for 21 goals and 80 points. Last year, he was absolutely terrible. He got taken off the first line power play, and he finished with 30 points in 62 games and only 9 goals. I was one of the guys that had faith in Hamilton going into the season. I think in my league, I drafted him at like 65 or 70, and that has certainly paid off. So congrats if you guys did the same. All right, number 9 is Winnipeg Jets defenseman Josh Morrissey, or as some people like to call him, Josh Norrisy. This guy could be a Norris candidate this year with how well he's been playing. His average draft position this year was 165, but his current rank in my league is 38. He has 53 points in 52 games, along with 10 goals. So he's an over point per game player, defenseman, super valuable for your fantasy teams. And that point total puts him on an 82 game pace of 15 goals and 82 points. This is a guy that I actually dropped the first week in my fantasy league because I was losing the week and I needed to stream a guy. I didn't think he would be this good, and that is definitely my biggest regret this season. So if he's on your fantasy teams, congratulations, and I hope he helps you for the rest of the season. All right, number 8 is David Pastrnak of the Boston Bruins, and I was super high on Pastrnak going into the season for one simple reason, and that reason is because he is in his contract year. And this year, he was kind of slept on in terms of the draft rankings. I personally had him on 10 in my pre-draft rankings, but his average draft position was 24. His current rank in my league right now is number 2. He has 72 points in 51 games, and even better than this is 38 goals. He is on an 82 game pace of 61 goals and 115 points. He would join Matthews and Stamkos as the only players in the 21st century to hit the 60 goal mark. So if he does, that would be incredibly impressive. I am lucky I drafted him. If you guys drafted him, congratulations. And hopefully he keeps his foot on the gas for the rest of the season. Number 7 on this list is a guy that has been one of the best fantasy players this season. And that guy is Zach Hyman of the Edmonton Oilers. He had an average draft position this year of 119, and his current rank in my league is number 12. What's interesting is that last year he was in a similar situation in terms of his power play time and his top 6 minutes, and he only had 54 points in 76 games and also 27 goals. A solid season, but nothing compared to how he is playing this year. This year he has 60 points in 49 games and also 26 goals, putting him on an 82 game pace of 43 goals and 100 points. If I told you a couple of seasons ago that Zach Hyman was going to hit 100 points in a season, you would have called me crazy, and there is a real possibility that this is going to happen. If you drafted him, congratulations, because you have a league winner on your hands. Number 6 is Linus Ullmark of the Boston Bruins, and he is the best goalie in the NHL this year. He had an ADP of 146 this season, because he split time with Jeremy Swayman last season, and Swayman actually outperformed him. His current rank this year is 29, and that is because of his stats that you can see right here. The Boston Bruins are the best team in the NHL, and I don't see this changing anytime soon. Yes, Jeremy Swayman still gets a solid amount of starts, but it is a 1A, 1B situation, with Ullmark being on the 1A side. Ullmark has clearly outplayed Swayman this year, and I expect him to finish with around 50 starts. It's not the most volume, but for him being on the best team in the league, he is an insanely valuable fantasy goalie. Number 5 on this list is Rasmus Dahlin of the Buffalo Sabres, and he had an average draft position this year of 78. In my league, his current rank is 13, making him the best fantasy hockey defenseman in the league. Right now, he has 55 points in 49 games and also 14 goals, putting him on an 82 game pace of 23 goals and 92 points. For a defenseman, this is absolutely incredible. Dahlin is playing on that red-hot Sabres offense, so I expect him to continue this production, and this is certainly a bump up from his season last year, which was solid with 53 points in 80 games, but it is not close to how he's doing this year, so congratulations if you drafted him. Having the best fantasy hockey defenseman on your team could likely be a league winner for you. Number 4 on this list is a guy who's having a career resurgence, and that guy is Erik Karlsson of the San Jose Sharks. As I'm recording this right now, he just had a 3-point night against the Tampa Bay Lightning, in which the Sharks won, and you got to think that if the Sharks didn't have Karlsson on their team, they would be the worst team in the league. His average draft position this year was 133, and his current rank in my league is 26, not even counting the 3-point performance that he had tonight. Right now, he is on an 82 game pace of 25 goals and 106 points. He would be the first defenseman to hit 100 points since Brian Leetch in 1992. I don't think anyone expected him to play this well. Maybe it was the departure of Brent Burns. Last year he had 35 points in 50 games, which is solid, but it's not even close to how he's playing this year. So if you have him on your team, just like I said with Dahlin, this is a league winner. Number 3 is Jason Robertson of the Dallas Stars, who had an average draft position this year of 48, but his current ranking in my league is 3. This was such a huge steal if you drafted him. I almost traded Kevin Fiala for Robertson early on in the season, but the guy that I was dealing with backed out last minute. So that was unfortunate for me, because look at his stats right now, guys. He has 66 points in 51 games and also 33 goals in these 51 games. That puts him on an 82 game pace of 53 goals and 106 points. Last year, he played amazing. He had 41 goals in 74 games, but I don't think anyone expected him to play this good. Realistically, his ADP should have been like 35, because when people were doing their fantasy drafts, he had not signed a contract with Dallas yet. That was kind of up in the air, but if you did believe in him and you drafted him, congratulations. Number 2 on this list is Jack Hughes of the New Jersey Devils, and as he would like to say, he is on a massive heater. If you're looking at his last 5, 10, 15 games, he is putting up so many fantasy points, and this has skyrocketed his ranking. His average draft position this year was 82, and his current rank in my league is number 4. Right now, he has 35 goals and a total of 67 points in 50 games, putting him on an 82 game pace of 57 goals and 109 points. Last year, he was great. He finished off the season really strong, and he was an over point per game player, so I think his ADP probably should have been lower, but because center was such a deep position, I think people did not prioritize drafting him. If you did draft him, or you somehow picked him up in a more shallow league, congratulations, because he is a league winner. He is playing as good as Connor McDavid as of late. The biggest steal of this year's draft is none other than Tage Thompson of the Buffalo Sabres. He had an ADP this year of 141, and his current rank right now in my league is number 7. This guy was actually on the market twice in my league, and I did not pick him up. My friend picked him up as a stream, and that night was the Halloween game that he had. I think he had 5 points, and he kept him ever since. I'm not bitter about it at all, okay? Maybe a little, but the fact is, it's not about me. It's about all of you guys that drafted him or picked him up. People were upset initially when he signed that contract in the offseason, but now that is looking like probably the best value contract in the NHL. He currently has 68 points in 50 games and also 34 goals, putting him on pace for 55 goals and 111 points in a full season. If you told this to a Buffalo Sabres fan at the beginning of last season, they would be laughing in your face, but they are not laughing anymore. In fact, they are cheering because the future of their team is looking extremely bright. Last year, when he put up 38 goals in 79 games, was not a fluke. It was a sign of things to come, and I expect him to keep putting up monster nights for the rest of the season and potentially help you win your fantasy league. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button below, and I will catch you in my next video. Like always, have a good one.